Over the past couple of weeks, I, like many people, have been rediscovering my indoor hobbies, which has mainly been sewing. And I have made enough things to justify a video now. This is not a tutorial on how to make these as a step-by-step, just because I find sewing quite therapeutic, and I find setting up a camera, trying to get the right angle for you to physically see what I'm doing, very stressful. So I kind of just wanted these to be made in my own time, at my own speed, and not really have to worry about you, viewer, actually figuring out what I'm doing. I will briefly explain what I've been doing, and I may actually do a proper tutorial about how I've made these skirts if you really want to. The other two, well, I'll get on and explain those. I will start with the top. So this top is kind of a hot mess. I do really like it. I think that it actually turned out much better than I anticipated. I was going off a design that I saw on Pinterest and a very basic outline of what I was doing on Pinterest. It also was very difficult because I physically don't have a wrap style shirt in my wardrobe, meaning that I couldn't actually base it off anything. If you already have the piece, maybe it's a top, a skirt or a dress, it becomes a lot easier to figure out how that product is made, but if you're going kind of blind, it's a bit difficult. So this one was okay, but I wasn't too pleased with it in the end. I'm not too mad about the fact that this was kind of a hot mess, because honestly I've had this fabric in my sewing box for about 9 years and I really needed to do something with it, so yeah. Next two items are very similar, but I will talk about them individually to start off with, starting with this pink skirt. I absolutely adore this fabric. It is absolutely amazing. It is a silk, and it's the type of silk which is kind of irregular in weave pattern. I love the fact that it kind of shifts colour. What's unique about this skirt is the fact that I've used this kind of like diagonal pleats, and then I've also physically sewn the pleats down like this on the outside, so it just kind of brings slightly more emphasis. It brings a bit more structure. It kind of gets rid of sort of the flowy nature, but it just means that it's kind of more tailored. This skirt is a green fabric. It is a very clean, plain weave of cotton, so it is a very sophisticated, nice skirt. This one was actually the first skirt that I made, hence why my zip was not put in properly. But I really love how these pleats have turned out. The pleats, look at the pleats everyone. Look how pretty those pleats are. They're so uniform and even. I'm so pleased with them. Both skirts are pretty simple to do. They only took me about 5 hours to make, and that's 5 hours with like movies on in the background slightly distracting me. It is a fairly simple process. If you really want me to make a video about this, about how I've made these incredibly simple skirts, I will do a step-by-step guide for you. I do have some extra fabric that I do want to turn into these skirts, so by request I will make them. But the general concept about the skirts is the fact that essentially you get a big line of fabric and you basically start pleating. You figure out the size of your waist and you get that measurement and you basically pleat until the fabric becomes that size. I did box pleats on the green one. This one did take a lot more fabric than kind of the standard pleats. You can obviously Google some pleats and see how to do those properly. I would recommend always, when you're pleating, to actually iron all the creases down. That's probably my #1 tip. I then created a nice little waistband and then essentially attached the waistband to the main bit of the skirt, put in a zipper, hemmed the edges, finished off the rest of it. That makes it sound really quick and easy, and it's honestly not too complicated to make. So those were 2 fun little projects. The final thing that I have is this, which is a lovely tulle skirt. It used to actually be an underskirt where it didn't have any of this lining, but I realised I did actually have some black lining fabric. The underskirt itself had very beautiful details like the lace and the double tooling, but because it was essentially an underskirt that I didn't really wear, I just wanted to upcycle it into something that I would. So I made it with this black lining. If I could go out and potentially I might actually rip this lining out and put a different lining in, because I'm honestly not too keen with the lining fabric that I have. It's a bit too polyester, bit too cheap looking. I would like a slightly nicer fabric underneath. It is good for the purpose that I have, and I might do it in the future, but again, I'm just kind of using up what I have, which is always a very good thing to do. So it kind of now looks more like an actual tulle skirt, and I'm very pleased with the fact that I'm now able to wear something that I otherwise wouldn't be able to wear because it really wasn't working well as an underskirt. So that's always a win when you're actually taking something from your closet that you never wear into something that you are going to wear. There's a few more kind of not necessarily complete DIYs, but I do want to make some alterations of clothes in the next couple of weeks as well, just to kind of make them just sort of fit me better, fit more of my style now and that sort of thing, because, you know, it's nice to kind of mend and remake things during this time. Not going to go into a deep philosophical thing here at all, because this is all about making clothes. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you do want tutorials on that skirt, then please do let me know, and I shall talk to you later. Bye!